Hello. Hello, everyone. If you could come on in and take your seats, that would be great. Thank you so much. You can sit anywhere you'd like.
Test, test. Testing, testing. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nick Poliak. I'm very proud to be the superintendent of Leyden High School District 212. I'm very proud to stand in front of you today to recognize these 5 amazing Eagles. Let's give them first a round of applause. I was told my job is to welcome you here today and then get out of the way and let all the really cool people talk. But I do want to point out something. We have a very, hey, Kathleen, can we turn the music down? I want to make sure we can hear everybody when they come up, so I'll stall. But we have a very simple mission statement here at Leyden. It's to educate, enrich, and empower our students and our communities. And I talk about this very often. We're a place of education. That's what we do. We're a school district. But we also seek to enrich. We try to figure out what kids need individually, what's going to help them find their niche and their home in these high schools, and we try to provide those unique enrichments for every kid, with the ultimate goal of empowering them to send them out from Leyden on the very best trajectory we can. And this is the pinnacle of that thought. These are 5 Eagles who have gone out and achieved beyond maybe their own expectations. And so we're here to celebrate them today. But I always point out that mission statement, to educate, enrich, and empower, it ends with students and communities. Yes, we want to educate, enrich, and empower our students. Obviously, that's what we do. But we want our communities to be better because the Leyden high schools are here. And these are 5 examples that have left here empowered, and they are out in the world enriching our community and enriching all the communities they live in. And so I'm going to ask you to give them one more round of applause. And then it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Ms. Janine Asmus, our Wall of Fame coordinator, who has been behind the scenes putting this entire event together for all of us. So Janine, please come on up.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Alumni Wall of Fame induction ceremony and reception. I'm so pleased to see all of you here this afternoon. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and students at the Leyden High Schools, we congratulate our 5 honored alums on their many accomplishments and welcome them home on this homecoming weekend. After 32 years at the Leyden High Schools, I never thought I would be before you in the midst of a pandemic. But I am, and we can all agree that none of this feels normal. In the beginning, we would wake up each day and be hopeful that whatever this COVID thing is, it would be wrapped up soon. But as time went on, we felt like we lost more than we gained. Many of us beat ourselves up for languishing and not flourishing. And for those of us who enjoy people and face-to-face connections, we slowly became accustomed to being alone. So today, on one of my all-time favorite days of the school year, I am happy to be here in this amazing and bright space at East Leyden, celebrating your work and the work of our Leyden colleagues. These alums are here because they characterize success by how they live and who they are, and today we celebrate them. Our 5 honored guests recognize that their numerous accomplishments did not evolve in a vacuum, but rather were nurtured by many. Soon you will hear about their lives after Leyden. Their journeys began right here, in all that surrounds us. Perhaps the trains and planes that are omnipresent in the Leyden neighborhood inspired them to reach out and to reach up. We are products of a lifetime of experiences, events, interactions, a word, a look, any of one which can have a profound effect on who we become in this life. How we interact with one another matters because people remember, and they sometimes carry those memories throughout their lives. It sometimes takes just one person's act of love, acceptance, or encouragement to make a life-changing difference. That person may never see nor receive evidence of the impact he or she has had on us unless we stop and say thanks for making a difference in my life. Leyden teachers help change lives and futures. These 5 accomplished alums are a testament to their dedication and effort. Leyden teachers inspired and continue to inspire a journey that our alums and our students perhaps would have never embarked upon without their support and guidance. Carlos credits Adrian Nix, his graphic arts teacher, for helping him develop a skill set and explore his talents in graphics. Michael remembers his chemistry teacher, Dalia Gigas, who had buckets and buckets of patience for, in his words, teenage angst and tomfoolery. And Daniel has Mr. Callister to thank not only for teaching him English, but it was in that class that he met his wife. Nancy still remembers and appreciates her English teacher, Mr. Owen, because he introduced her to literature, and Miss O'Malley for opening her eyes to everything French. And Mario is forever grateful to Miss Mary Jean Zermanic, his Spanish teacher. According to him, she took me under her wing and helped me and my parents navigate the barriers and obstacles of higher education. So think for a moment about some of your favorite teachers. The great ones made us feel important, intelligent, and purposeful. They loved their subjects and they loved us. And theirs are the faces and voices that stay with us always. Those teachers convinced us at the most formative time in our lives that we were worthy. They believed in our dreams and tried anything that would come their way to sell curiosity and a love of learning. So who are those who've helped you become the person that you are? The late Mr. Fred Rogers said in one of his last public addresses, anyone who has ever graduated from high school, anyone who's ever been able to sustain a good work, has had at least one person, and often many, who have believed in him or her. We just don't get to be competent human beings with a lot of different investments from others. So let's take a moment to think about those who have helped us become who we are today. Some of them might be here right now. Some may be far away. Some, like my high school English and drama teacher, Mr. Jerry Van Vossen, are no longer with us. But wherever they are, if they've loved you and encouraged you and wanted what was best in life for you, they're right inside yourself. And as we've navigated through these last few months with our worlds upside down, many of us have come to realize it's not the honors, prizes, or fancy outsides of life which ultimately nourish our souls. It's in knowing who and what we are, that we never have to fear truth, and that the foundation of our lives from which we make our choices is good stuff. So I think everyone in the room here today could agree that the most important factor in making a difference in a school is a fine teacher. So I'd like to close with a true story. I've told it before, but it bears repeating. A few summers ago, while walking my beagle Charlotte, I stopped at this big, large, ornate fence so she could bark at two poodles on the other side. The owner of the large home just behind the big fence came forward and said, beagles, cute dogs, but dumb. I had one growing up in Skokie, not smart. In a quick but friendly retort, I told him that my beagle wasn't dumb. What I know of poodles, they can be pretty snippy. But I then told him that I knew Skokie pretty well, and my mother was a school teacher there many moons ago at Fairview School. And the man said, that's where I went to school. I had a teacher there who changed my life. You see, he said, in those days, I could not sit still. I struggled to learn. But this one teacher never gave up on me. She sometimes had to hold me down because I was literally bouncing out of my seat. Oh, she's probably long gone, he said. And then I asked him what her name was, and he replied, Barbara Cardis, amazing teacher, changed my life. I then told him that she is very much around. Barbara Cardis, my now 90-year-old mother, would surely love to see him. He quickly came from behind that big black fence. He grabbed my cheeks and he said, gosh, you look just like her. My name is Teddy Schmidt, and you are? A few hours later, I drove up to that big gate with my mother, and there was Teddy Schmidt waiting eagerly to reconnect and greet his 6th grade teacher and proudly put his graduation pin from Fairview School, class of 1961, on her lapel. Indeed, the power of a good teacher is like no other. On behalf of all of us at Leyden, congratulations. Your successes are both models to us and for us, and indications to us of a job well done. We are honored and pleased to welcome you home and induct you onto Leyden's Alumni Wall of Fame.
Leyden distinguishes itself as extraordinary by showcasing those who have walked these very halls and found ways to leave their mark on the world. Their breakthroughs are fostered through positive changes that leave a lasting impression on the lives of many. We are here to celebrate such lifelong impressions of 5 people who not only succeeded inside this very school, but also proved their exceptionality outside of these walls through devotion, perseverance, and diligence to the improvement of their communities. And now, rewarded for their accomplishments, they have returned to show us the possibilities we all possess to become leaders with much Leyden pride. As seniors, we must take note of their stories because we too will be going out into the world in only a few short months toward a path that can define our entire lives. Today is a celebration of possibility. The possibility that we as seniors have before us, the possibility to prove ourselves not only today, but for the rest of our lives. The purpose of today is to provide an example for us, an example of the endless ways we can harness the skills we've cultivated throughout our time at Leyden as we embark into the real world. Soon, we will need to take the lessons we've learned within these walls and put them into practice. In a few minutes, we'll hear about their individual journeys that inspired and continue to inspire us at Leyden High Schools. This ceremony and the alums honored allow us to see a glimpse of our possible future. With unlimited horizons laying before us, we have the opportunity to push forward and follow paths similar to those who we are celebrating today. These paths that will lead us to educate, paths that will lead us to enrich, and paths that will lead us to empower, so that one day we can come back and be the example for future generations to follow. On behalf of all of the students at Leyden High Schools, thank you for sharing your time and your journeys with us. We are most appreciative. Congratulations on being inducted into the Leyden Alumni Wall of Fame. And now, it is my honor to welcome the chamber performance, directed by Miss Stacy Cunningham.
I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water. Hello. Ooh. Okay. Hi, let me take you back to 1963. In November of that year, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. The measles vaccine was finally approved for use. Beatlemania was just getting started. Civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched in Washington, and Nancy Jo Tobin graduated at the time of brand new West Leyden High School. School, as described by her back then, was very linear. She wasn't encouraged to think outside the box or be creative. Girls were put in typing and sewing classes and cooking classes, and boys in mechanics. She went on to Triton College and continued to take classes there throughout her life as a way to enhance her career. There are a few teachers she really appreciated and wants to recognize. Mr. Owen introduced her to literature, and Mr. Schneider allowed her to learn science through a new lens and just so happened to be her neighbor as well. Miss O'Malley taught her everything about France. She fondly remembers football games and bonfires. Nancy gets great pleasure from helping others and volunteering. You will find no one more generous with her time and her talents than Nancy. She's been giving of herself to her community for over 40 years. She worked as an executive secretary and special education paraprofessional at Franklin Park School District 64, where she retired in 2006. She served as a trustee on the Westdale Park District Board for 10 years and was the first woman to serve on the Mannheim School District 83 board. She has held several positions on that board, including its president and vice president. She still serves on District 83 board. For the past 25 years, she served in the West Cook Division in the Illinois Association of School Boards as governing board representative, chair, and is currently the vice chair. Nancy has received the Illinois Association of School Boards Distinguished Service Award. She is a member of the Kiwanis Club of Northlake for over 30 years, serving in all positions and as lieutenant governor of the whole division. Socially, Nancy is a member of the International Red Hat Society and is a queen of her own chapter. Nancy recognizes every day as a gift, especially as a breast cancer survivor. She cherishes her spouse of 48 years, Jack Tobin, and her two sons, Michael and Jeffrey, and her daughter-in-law, Kristen. She also has two grandsons, Jack and Josh. Her mission in life is to continue to work hard as she can leave a legacy of doing the best she can for her family, community, and the world. Her advice to teens today: live your dream to the best of your ability. Don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Be tolerant and kind, respect yourself, leave a beautiful footprint on this world. Winning this alumni award from Lyding means to her that although she didn't graduate from college, the life lessons and dedication to volunteerism and community are recognized as being meaningful to society. Congratulations, Nancy. We are so pleased and honored to have you on our 2021 Alumni Wall of Fame.
Thank you. I didn't expect all of that to, now I don't have to read from this. Thank you, Janine. Really, you did a wonderful job organizing. Thank you, everyone. And this is just such an honor to be here. I'm very humbled. Last year was supposed to be the time when we were going to be inducted, and so although the information that was read is correct, you have to fast forward another year. I did leave the Board of Education on January 1st, 2021, and so I don't have anything more to do except go to board meetings. I still will do that, but so a little bit has changed in a year. Well, a lot has changed, hasn't it? But everything else holds true. I have devoted my life and spent hours away from my family to work in the community, to give back. I worked in Franklin Park, it was District 84, for 20 years in special education, and that changed my life. And I really enjoyed all the time. Once I got used to not being a mom in the classroom, which was really hard in the beginning, because I love to nurture, and those are things that we weren't encouraged to do, but just do the business of the job, and it's not easy. And so I just did my thing, and everything worked out okay. I think our kids really benefited from that extra love. I'm just looking around and I see my friends that I asked to come, and they actually showed up. So I'm so thrilled. My District 83 friends, my Kiwanis friends, my school friends, Marilyn, I've known since 4th grade. I am so blessed to have lifelong friends. My friends Susan and Marilyn, who I've known through high school. So we met in high school, and here we are. It's wonderful. My family's here. I'm so proud of them, I can't even tell you. And a big part of my life the last 20 years has been being a Red Hat Society member, and it's changed my life. And it's given my husband a lot of staycations when I go away, so he's happy with that. I want to recognize in that camera over there the family that couldn't be here today because of Delta. They had planned to be here. My brother Rich graduated from East Leyden in 1959. My brother Jim graduated from West Leyden in 73, and my niece Rachel graduated from West Leyden in 2006. So I want to say that I love you and I thank you, and I wish that you were here with us, but the live streaming on YouTube is the best, second best, not the best, but it is second best. So the one thing that I do want to say, and I'm going to go a little bit long because I'm taking age into consideration. I have, these young whippersnappers over here, they'll understand when they get to be my age. I want you to know that this is how I feel, that I love people, but I love kids more. They're little sponges. They listen, they learn, and they laugh at my jokes. Helping my own sons to learn and be responsible wasn't always easy, but the mission was accomplished, and it was accomplished by them, because you can't make kids do something they don't want to do. Working in school for 20 years, being on the board for 33, and being in Kiwanis for the same amount of time has really made me a better person. And I feel like there's just not enough time to give back, but I'm trying my best. And I just am so happy, and I'm so happy to have Mayor Sherwin here, who is also a Wall of Fame inductee, not today, but a few years ago. And I just have wonderful friends and family. So I thank you for this honor, and I am humbled. Thank you.
If Disney's Magic Kingdom is the happiest place on earth, then Carlos is one lucky guy because he works at the happiest place on earth. He lives in Celebration, Florida, and works as a Disney Imagineer with Walt Disney Creative Entertainment. He's worked for the Walt Disney Company since 2008. Now, Carlos describes himself as a highly paid, professional preschooler, since part of his job is to watch cartoons and make drawings. So Carlos, if this Disney thing for some reason doesn't work out, I live with a couple highly unpaid, unprofessional preschoolers in my house who could use another great role model. Carlos turned his artistic creativity dream into reality. However, making those dreams come true took time, tenacity, and determination, which Carlos says he learned from his grandparents, who worked hard to give their children and grandchildren opportunities they did not have. Carlos gets immense personal satisfaction when he sees guests at Disney theme parks with smiles and laughter because he knows he personally helped create those great memories for those families. He'd say that his greatest strength is determination. Through practice and very late nights that led to early mornings, he built up his artistic skills, and he found that he loved learning, which led him to something many thought would be impossible, a career as an Imagineer. Carlos's Imagineering actually began when he first went to Disneyland with his family on a Make-A-Wish Foundation trip for his terminally ill cousin. Carlos was introduced to the magic of Disney. Walt Disney himself, without knowing it, helped send Carlos down his current career path through all the Walt Disney feature films. Carlos gives much credit and recognition to Miss Nix, his art teacher, who he got to hang out with most of today. She introduced him to graphic design, and she encouraged him to perfect his craft. At Leyden, Carlos took every art class we had. After graduating from Leyden in 2004, Carlos refined his artistic craft at the Illinois Institute of Art, where he earned a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in graphic design. He also earned a Bachelor's of Fine Arts in theme design from the California Institute of the Arts. This hard work paid off. Carlos has earned 3 Theme Entertainment Association awards for his work on the Disneyland theme park located in Shanghai, the Camp Discovery Challenge Trail, and the Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure attraction. When not working, Carlos volunteers his time with Habitat for Humanity and the Junior Achievement Association. When asked what winning an alumni award from Lyding means to him, Carlos wrote that no matter the long nights or the sleepless nights, the sad times, the hard times, or the lonely times, following his dream was the right thing to do. He hopes to inspire other Lyding students to go after their dreams and achieve their goals. He's encouraged by young people because of their ability to adapt to ever-changing technology. He reminds them that they have the power to be whatever they want to be and can create a rewarding future for themselves no matter their race, social, or financial background. Congratulations, Carlos. We are pleased and honored to have you on our 2021 Alumni Wall of Fame.
So, hello everybody, thank you for coming. One thing I would like to correct is I never went to a theme park with my terminally ill cousin. He would always come back and tell me stories about it. So because of that, I wanted to go off and do Imagineering so I could create these experiences for these children and family to come experience and create memories for the future. I would like to thank everybody for putting on a wonderful Hall of Fame ceremony and a speech. It was wonderful to talk to the kids. I would like to thank my family for giving me the tools to go out and explore and adventure all these new creative endeavors. I would like to thank my grandparents specifically for allowing me to do so and not, pestering me to go be a doctor or a lawyer. I'd like to thank my teachers here at East Leyden for giving me the tools to go out and learn things outside of school and to do things my own way, because eventually it got me to where I am right now. And I like to keep things short because I'm not a great public speaker. Thank you.
Listening. It's a skill Dr. Michael Lyding has perfected out of necessity because he believes 90% of his medical treatment comes from carefully listening to his patients. He sits and gets to know them, listens to their stories, advice, and commentary they give on life. Dr. Lyding is currently a physician practicing geriatric medicine in Lakewood, Colorado. As a geriatrician, he is the primary care physician for older adults managing multiple chronic illnesses. The patient he sees struggle to balance multiple specialists and a long list of medications. They are also older, oldest of the old. Issues of function, being able to care for oneself, and loss of independence are common themes. Before moving to Colorado, he practiced at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago and served as an assistant professor in the Department of Geriatric Medicine and Palliative Care. He was also the associate program director of geriatric medicine and was involved in the education of medical and nursing students, internal medicine residents, and geriatric and palliative medicine fellows. Dr. Lyding went to Marquette University and then on to Loyola University in Chicago for his medical degree. He did his internal medicine residency at St. Elizabeth's Medical Center in Boston and then completed a fellowship at Rush University Medical Center in geriatric medicine. Immediately afterward, he worked at Glenbrook Hospital as a geriatrician in clinic, hospital, assisted living, and long-term care facilities. He also served as an instructor for medical students and internal medicine residents. He earned the Excellence in Teaching Award and the Perceptin Team of the Year Award from the Department of Internal Medicine at Rush Senior Center. He has also achieved board certification in hospice and palliative medicine. Dr. Lyding has been married 17 years to Jonathan Seelar, from whom he has adopted the motto, "Everything in moderation." This philosophy carries through to the care of his own patients. Telling a patient he or she can't do something is usually a recipe for noncompliance. Instead, he urges choosing carefully and keeping an eye on portion sizes, for example. Another motto Dr. Lyding follows is less is more when it comes to his practice and medication dosing. It's easy to keep adding pills in an attempt to fix a specific problem. It's much harder to look at the big picture and make an attempt to remove or reduce medications when and where appropriate. When he thinks back to his childhood, he fondly remembers spending time with his grandmother and thinks she is most likely the reason he gravitated toward geriatrics and developed an interest in hospice and palliative care. One of his fondest memories of Leyden is participating in the Honors Plus program. It had a positive impact on him and his overall high school experience. He spent lots of time with the same 20 or so students for 2 years of high school and got to know them very well. They remain close friends to this day. One teacher in particular from that program he remembers with great respect and fondness is Miss Dahlia Gigas, his chemistry teacher. She gave him loads of her time and buckets of patience. He spent lots of time in her room after school finishing up lab experiments. When he thinks about advice to give teens today, it is as follows. You are exactly the person you are supposed to be. There is nothing abnormal, strange, or wrong with the way you look, the way you act, your interest, or what you enjoy doing. As your future self, I promise that someday you will find your people, your place, and your purpose. He goes on to say, winning this award means that Leyden offers infinite possibilities for those who want them. No matter your background, each Leyden graduate has the potential to build a successful career and lead a rich, meaningful life. If I can do it, you can do it too. On behalf of all of us at Leyden High Schools, congratulations. We are pleased and honored to have you on our 2021 Alumni Wall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I'm truly grateful for the Leyden teachers and staff who dedicated their lives to educate, coach, and challenge all of us. I'm married to a high school teacher myself, so I know very well what goes into becoming a good teacher. And at West Leyden, I had several whom I would consider great. Above all, I want to thank my mom. She waited tables and drove a truck for Federal Express to ensure that my only worry while growing up was doing well in school. Watching her, I witnessed what it means to work hard, learn how to set goals, and persevere until I achieve them. It's no exaggeration to state I would not be receiving this award today without her love or those life lessons. Thank you.
Daniel's advice to teenagers today is advice we all could use, and it goes as follows. Seek and trust God if you haven't already, the sooner the better. Drop social media and live a real life. Don't waste time on electronics. Go with your heart and not with the culture. It's okay to not fit in. Your peers can be cruel, but don't dwell on it and move on. Pursue your passion, not money. Put yourself often in uncomfortable situations because it will help you get stronger. And lastly, stay physically active. Daniel came to the United States when he was a teenager from Poland. He did not know the English language, and in his words, had nothing except for his family and his faith. His memories of Leyden are good ones. The ELL program here allowed him to foster his education despite his minimal English proficiency. He fondly remembers Miss Maybush. She did not give up on him and challenged his thinking and his writing, for which he is most appreciative. Mr. Callister's English class was where he met his wife. He was a sophomore and she was a freshman. She was sitting in front of him, and he watched her from the back of the classroom. It was one of his most memorable classes, and the most distracting. They were going to study Romeo and Juliet, and he thought right then and there, that's my Juliet. All these years later, his wife, Evelina, is an English teacher, and that Shakespearean play is on her class syllabus. Mr. Jamarin, his social studies teacher, inspired him through his genuine spirit and interest in his subject and his students. When he reflects upon the people who've influenced him the most, he remembers Linus Pauling. Dr. Pauling was a famous biochemist who published the early structure of DNA, and he positioned phosphates inside of the DNA helix. Of course, we all know that phosphates on the DNA carry negative charges, and we all know that the negative charges repel each other. But Dr. Pauling made a mistake based on some fundamental knowledge. You'll have to explain that to us, Dr. Chij. Although he was devastated by his mistake, he didn't give up and later received 2 Nobel Prizes. This example emphasizes that everyone can make mistakes, and when we make them, we shake them off and we move forward. Daniel also thinks of St. John Paul II, who lost his mother and brother early in life, and later his dad. He lived in Nazi-occupied Poland and risked his life by entering the priesthood. Whenever he starts to take things for granted, Daniel thinks about St. John Paul's life, and it quickly brings him back to reality, reminding him how humble he was. Daniel graduated from East Leyden in 2000 and headed to the University of Illinois at Chicago, where he earned a BS degree in biochemistry in the Honors College in 2005. He went on to Northwestern University and earned a PhD in 2012 in biological sciences and biotechnology. He did his postdoctoral work at the University of Chicago, HTRL Regional Biocontainment Laboratory at Argonne. He is published in over a dozen academic journals and has been a speaker at various symposiums and conferences in China and the United States. He spent 6 years at the University of Chicago developing a novel approach to treat infections by antibiotic-resistant bacteria. He developed and pioneered a method of targeting human immune cells to enhance their ability to uptake and kill bacteria. Currently, Dr. C, as his students call him, runs his own research group at the University of Florida, where he continues to work on a host-targeted approach against most common hospital-acquired bacterial infections. His research also investigates the role of human microbiota in neurodegenerative diseases. He developed a new course on antimicrobial resistance that he teaches to upper undergraduate and graduate students. He mentors undergraduates who work in his laboratory. He has many awards in recognition for his work. He won the University of Chicago Postdoctoral Award in 2014, the University of Florida Early Career Scientist Award in 2018, and the Department of Defense Research Funding Award in 2019, just to name a few. In addition, Dr. C has been Vice President of the Knights of Dabrowski Crusade for Education organization that financially supports students in their pursuit of higher education. They have provided over $40,000 in scholarships each year, with a cumulative amount of $1.3 million awarded to students in the Chicago metro area, many of whom were Leyden students. When reflecting on what makes him the most proud, he considers himself a humble person because everything he has done in his life was because other people were placed around him to make things possible. He was blessed with parents who supported him and gave him the opportunity to concentrate on his studies. As immigrants, they worked hard to get him where he is today. He is proud of having a wife who has been so supportive of him through his studies. And lastly, he's proud of his daughters who allow him to do whatever he does and never complain. His message to Leyden students: trips and falls are essential parts of learning how to walk. In order to learn how to walk, you first need to learn how to get up. Falls and failures are essential components of success. Daniel, congratulations. We are pleased to have you on our Alumni Wall of Fame.
Thank you, Rick. That was a lovely summary. So I wrote something, I like to read it off of the letter that I wrote, the writing, but it almost seems that we sat down together and wrote the same speeches. I don't know how it happened, but there's a lot of overlap. So, when I was asked to give a 3-minute speech about a subject that is not related to science, I started to get anxious. I could lecture about antibiotic resistance for hours and still run out of time, but talking about something other than science just makes me a bit nervous. So please bear with me. 24 years ago, I walked into Leyden straight from Poland without knowing any English, and because of Leyden's outstanding ESL program, I was able to go from ESL 1 with Ms. Yamada to English 4, I believe with Mr. Duford, in just under 3 years. When I left Leyden, I never thought that I would ever return, especially under these circumstances. Leyden will always bring back good memories. I remember taking shelter biology with Ms. Donna Maybush. The patience she had for all the ELL kids was just overwhelming. I saved some of the assignments from that class, and when I looked at one of them recently, I wondered how she even passed me. It's those teachers who don't give up on their students that make the most difference, because you never know when your students are going to end up. While I only spent 3 years here, I made lifelong relationships and friendships. I met my best friends here, and among all of them, one stands out. I remember sitting in the back of Mr. Callister's English 1 class. Ironically, we were studying Romeo and Juliet, as we heard. I looked at this girl sitting at the front desk, and I just got blinded by her beauty and instantly fell in love. It took some work before she felt the same way. And here we are now, 23 years later. That girl, Evelina, who's also a teacher, is here with us today, along with our daughters Emily, Emma, and Ella. The privilege and honor of being here today for this special event are really attributed to only a few people that sacrificed a lot so that I could get to where I am now. My wife supported me throughout my everlasting studies and endured the struggle that we encounter, but not once did she complain when I spent countless hours working on experiments in the lab. I'm also thankful for my daughters because they may not have had dad available to spend time with them as often as they wanted. My wonderful siblings, Mario, Jerry, Joanna, and Anna, who are also all Leyden alumni, their spouses, and my in-laws, Andy and Zofia, provided so much support by helping to watch our kids just when we needed it the most. And of course, I would not be here if not for the hard work and the support and sacrifice of my parents, my mom, Gosha, and my dad, Yarek, who's watching us from heaven. I'm sure he would be very proud. And last but not least, I fully entrusted God to guide me through the good and through the bad times. And I thank him that he surrounded me by all of you gathered here today. It is a great honor to be here today. I want to say special thanks to the Wall of Fame committee, especially Janine Asmus, to all staff and administrators, and those who work behind the scenes, and of course, the most important influences, all Leyden teachers. Thank you.
Let me take you back to 2003. Saddam Hussein was captured in December of that year. Serena Williams beat her older sister Venus at Wimbledon. LeBron James was the first pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the last old-style Volkswagen Beetle rolled off the assembly line in July. It was also the year that Mario, Papi Hoo-Ha, he'll have to explain that one to us, Treto Jr. graduated from West Leyden High School. Mario attended Washington University in St. Louis, where he earned a Bachelor of Arts in Biology and Psychology, and then graduated from Indiana University Morrow School of Law in 2012. He has worked as an assistant city attorney and a deputy city attorney in the city of Evanston before being named the director of real estate for the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. In March of 2021, Governor Pritzker appointed him as secretary for the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. In this capacity, he oversees more than 1 million licenses, from banks and other financial institutions to doctors and architects, cosmetologists, and real estate brokers. He also continues to serve in Governor Pritzker's cabinet as the director of real estate. Mario continually gives back to his community. He is the youngest and first Latino chairman of the board for Howard Brown Health, a federally qualified health care center providing critical health care services to marginalized communities through 12 clinics, a youth center, to over 35,000 patents, and a $140 million operating budget. Moreover, he has provided free legal services to first responders in the Chicagoland area. He is the president of the Indiana University Morrow School of Law Latino Alumni Advisory Board, serves on the board of directors for the Saltbox Theater Collective, and is the deputy regional president of the Hispanic National Bar Association. In August of 2018 and 2019, Crane's Business Magazine recognized Mario as a notable LGBT executive. He is recognized in Who's Who in Chicago Hispanic Power and won the 2018 Brad D. Bailey Assistant City County Attorney of the Year Award from the International Municipal Lawyers Association. The Hispanic National Bar Association recognized him in 2018 as one of the top lawyers under 40 in the country. He earned the Distinguished Service Award in the City of Evanston in March of 2019. In 2018, he was recognized by the Cook County State's Attorney Office with the annual Humanitarian of the Year Award. His motto is simple: we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us and have the responsibility to forge a strong foundation for generations to come. And his mission is simple: to leave everything he touches better than he found it. Mario is a first-generation high school graduate. He is proud to have had the opportunity to follow his educational aspirations and graduate from college and law school. These opportunities, in turn, have allowed him to create a network of individuals who provide him a great support system. They have allowed him to affect positive change within his profession, industries, identities, and marginalized communities at large. Thus, he is able to use his platform and give a positive voice in a variety of capacities. He credits his father for instilling in him a sense of hard work and determination, which has been a guiding star throughout his career. His mother's compassion and humility have kept him grounded and served as a strong foundation in his humanitarian endeavors. He also is thankful for his Leyden teachers. Mary M.J. Sermanic, his Spanish teacher and lifelong mentor, has helped him navigate his journey through higher education and has continued to be one of his consistent and outspoken cheerleaders, for which he is forever grateful. He is thankful for the time he spent participating in the Leyden Theater and Speech, but directly impacted and improved his public speaking skills and provided him with a lived human experience that helped him connect with others from different walks of life. As far as teens today, he is encouraged by the empathy, activism, and pursuit of justice and humanity he sees in today's youth. He is someone who sees high school as an amazing time for self-discovery and to be surrounded by people who come from different walks of life. His advice is for students to take the time to appreciate and get to know one another. Learn to understand that life is about constant re-evaluation. Our differences are something to celebrate and might even be the reason opportunities present themselves before you. When asked what winning this award meant to him, he wrote, "This award has an incredible impact personally as it centers me and allows me to continue to appreciate my origins from where I come from. I will always be a part of the Leyden community, and this forges and memorializes my deep connection forever with an institution that I love." Mario, on behalf of all of us at Leyden High Schools, congratulations on your induction into the Leyden High Schools Wall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. These are always built too short, I find. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. And we all had the opportunity today to speak to a lot of Leyden students. And there's one thing that I can say for certain, and that's the future is bright. We have a lot of great people here at Leyden High School, a lot of great teachers, and a lot of great futures that I think are going to make it a substantial impact, not only in the Leyden community, not only in the state of Illinois, but in this country and beyond. I have so many people to thank. I want to thank the committee first and foremost for selecting a great group of individuals that I get to be amongst. It was great to hear your bios and all your accomplishments, so congratulations to all four of you. I'd like to thank my family first and foremost. My mother, Rebecca Treto, and my father, Mario Treto, who's my namesake, for really forging the way and allowing us to pursue our academic endeavors. I also want to thank my two sisters, Jeanette and Nancy, who have been strong foundations in my life as I've been forging ahead again with a lot of the projects and initiatives that I've had. So thank you. I want to thank a number of teachers. I think that oftentimes we go to school and think that we're only getting taught things that are written inside a curriculum, and that's not at all true. We often get to learn more and more about what's in reality important with the School of Life. I have to thank Mary Jean Sermanic, first and foremost, who really worked with my parents and helped them understand the value of higher education, and also with every challenge that I've had, Being there at 3 a.m. when I send her emails asking for assistance and her insights, and for that I'm forever grateful. I have a number of other teachers in the audience, and I thank each and every one of you for everything that you've contributed. I think it's important to have a personal board of directors, as I tell everyone, and I tell all the students to do that as well. They've all certainly helped me out as I've been, again, moving forward with some of my goals. It's an exciting time. I am glad that you mentioned earlier that we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us, and that is a phrase that I use all the time. But I do think that we have a moral obligation to support and help the generations to come. So with that, and in keeping with my true mission, I also want to use this as an opportunity to announce that I'm going to be creating the Tredo Family Scholarship for a first-generation student that's interested in pursuing education at a four-year institution. I say that, and I hope, thank you. I say that with a hope as a call to action to all my fellow alums, the alums that have received this award in the past, but just alums in general. We received a great education here. The power of Leyden is incredible, and it really helps, again, pave the way forward for our futures, but also for the futures of the generations to come. So with that, I'd like to, again, thank everyone for being here. Appreciate the opportunity to walk the halls of East Leyden. I'm looking forward to walking the halls of West Leyden tomorrow. We have a special place here. We have a special family here at Leyden, so thank you.
Please join me in another round of applause for all of our 5 alumni tonight. Thank you for spending these couple of very special days here with us. Your successful careers and lives have set a wonderful example for our students and are a reminder to our faculty and staff why we are in the business of educating young people. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. You have done just that in your personal and professional lives, and today you have inspired our students and staff to do the same, to shake the world one little bit at a time. So many people have helped put this event together. First and foremost, Ms. Janina Asmus. She has worked tirelessly to organize the many facets of this celebration and has been looking forward to being able to do this after a long hiatus from our COVID past 18 months. Also, thank you to Jeannie Kupfer, her assistant in the library, for helping with the details, and also for our cafeteria staff for supporting us and helping us with breakfast, and Nicole Stockard and our catering class for organizing our reception that will be following this event tonight. Also, Stacy Cunningham and our choir for providing beautiful music for us today. Also, our maintenance departments, faculty host, teachers involved, and our students, Brian Perua, and all of our students who are part of this program today. Please consider joining us after another brief song by our chamber choir over there for our reception. We hope that you join us for a little bit and enjoy spending time with our alumni. Thank you for being here today.
Choosing first to try. Make sure I got my keys.